impartiality, 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 impassibility, 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 appropriate body, appropriate body, appropriate body, appropriate body, impasse, 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 impassable, 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 impassion, 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 impassivity, 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 impasto, 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 impatience, 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 impatient, 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 absolute indifference, absolute indifference, absolute indifference, absolute indifference, impatiently, 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 imporn, 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 impeach, 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 impeachable, 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 impeccable, 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 impecunious, 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 impedance triangle, impedance triangle, impedance triangle, impedance triangle, impedance voltage, impedance voltage, impedance voltage, impedance voltage, impedance, 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 appropriately, 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 impede, 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 impediment, 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 impedimental, 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 impedor, 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 impel, 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 appropriateness, 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 impending, 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 impenitence, 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 impenitently, 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 imperative mood, imperative mood, imperative mood, imperative mood, imperative order, imperative order, imperative order, imperative order, imperative sentence, imperative sentence, imperative sentence, imperative sentence, imperative verb, imperative verb, imperative verb, imperative verb, appropriation budget, appropriation budget, appropriation budget, appropriation budget, imperatively, 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 imperator, 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 imperfect flower, imperfect flower, imperfect flower, imperfect flower, imperfect, 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 imperfection, 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 imperfective, 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 imperforate, 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 imperial taxes, imperial taxes, imperial taxes, imperial taxes, imperialism, 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 imperialist, 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 impermanency, 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 impermeability, 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 impermeable bed, impermeable bed, impermeable bed, impermeable bed, impermeable ground, impermeable ground, impermeable ground, impermeable ground, impersonal account, impersonal account, impersonal account, impersonal account, impersonal, 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 impersonality, 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 impersonator, 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 impervious soil, impervious soil, impervious soil, impervious soil, imperviousness, 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 impetigo, 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 approved agenda, approved agenda, approved agenda, approved agenda, impingement, 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 impious, 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 impish, 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 impishly, 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 impishness, 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 approved, 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 implacability, 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 implacable, 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 implant, 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 implausible, 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 implead, 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 implementary, 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 impletion, 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 implicit rent, implicit rent, implicit rent, implicit rent, implicitly, 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 implicitness, 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 implied, 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 implore, 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 implosion, 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 implosive, 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 absolute majority, absolute majority, absolute majority, absolute majority, impolicy, 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 impolite, 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 import certificate, import certificate, import certificate, import certificate, import commerce, import commerce, import commerce, import commerce, import credit, import credit, import credit, import credit, import duty, import duty, import duty, import duty, import handicap, import handicap, import handicap, import handicap, approximately, 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 import license, import license, import license, import license, import permit, import permit, import permit, import permit, import quota, import quota, import quota, import quota, import reduction, import reduction, import reduction, import reduction, import regime, import regime, import regime, import regime, import restrictions, import restrictions, import restrictions, import restrictions, importable, 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 importance, 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 important, 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 approximation, 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 importation, 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 imported article, imported article, imported article, imported article, importer, 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 imports and exports, imports and exports, imports and exports, imports and exports, importunately, 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 importune, 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 impose a tax, impose a tax, impose a tax, impose a tax, impose law and order, impose law and order, impose law and order, impose law and order, appurtenance, 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 impose tax, impose tax, impose tax, impose tax, imposing, 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 imposition of taxes, imposition of taxes, imposition of taxes, imposition of taxes, imposter, 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 appurtenances, 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 imposter, 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 imposture, 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 impound, 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 impoverish, 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 impoverishment, 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 impracticable, 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 appurtenant, 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 imprecate, 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 imprecation, 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 impregnate, 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 impregnating agent, impregnating agent, impregnating agent, impregnating agent,